Hey everybody, Gears here, and this is the cardboard tube idea for the wing. As it happens, this 3-inch mailing tube sits perfectly in the middle of these rocket engines here. My thoughts are, by waxing this tube and then applying fiberglass all around it, I can make a sleeve, remove the cardboard, and I just have the fiberglass, which I then put wet fiberglass on each side and shim that down into the mold to give me a relatively trouble-free casting process, but we'll see about that. It would matter more on the front side, like this. However, on the front side, the tube is just barely fitting inside. I can't quite squeeze that in there, it's awful close. Consequently, making a wrapping of this would be the minimum wall size, and I would want to make that thicker from there. Maybe? It all depends on how the molding of this goes. Do I cut it down the seam lines of the front and the back? I want to cast the fronts and the backs of these separately, so we got one piece there, another piece there. Do I cut this mold line over here, down here, somewhere there? Do I cut it along the edges, like the front and the back, or do I cut it just underneath here to make sure that the front is really nice and strong to resist any damage? If that's the case, and I do it along these lines, then I have to compensate for that over on that side. How deep do I go with this here? All the way down to there? Ideally, I need to get to at least there to give a full inch of depth for the perception that these nose cones really sit in there. Or, potentially, I could cap the end off like this at any given depth to make things possibly easier, but then getting the tube set so that it's on axis in both directions and not cockeyed going off to one side or the other, because that would definitely be bad if either of the nose cones, or the spikes for that matter, are off alignment. So there's a few decisions coming up there. As a last minute fix on this guy, I'm shifting the center line over to get that in line with where it should be. The front is still just a little off. It needs to go here, but I need to get myself some more Ava's epoxy. A few other spots where I tried to smooth things out. There's still going to be a little more work on this to do, but it's awful close, and coming down to these final decisions on how this is going to work is definitely something I need time to think about for days, if not weeks, to really ponder the issue and mull it over. So, I think that's it for this one with the cardboard tube idea. Thanks for watching. See ya.